Hey gang, I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Today, we're diving into one of the most extraordinary rags to riches journeys of our time, the story of Jack Ma, the man who went from being an underdog with countless failures to one of the richest and most influential entrepreneurs in the world. His life is not just a business tale. It's an emotional rollercoaster filled with lessons about resilience, courage, and the power of believing in yourself when nobody else does. If you've ever felt rejected, underestimated, or lost, Jack Ma's journey is going to light a fire inside you. Jack Ma was born in 1964 in Hangzhou, China, a place that at the time was far from the bustling, globalized city it is today. He grew up in a poor family, and from the very beginning, life didn't hand him anything on a silver platter. But what he did have was an incredible curiosity and a desire to learn. As a young boy, he realized something very few around him did: the world was bigger than the walls of his city. When foreign tourists began visiting Hangzhou, little Jack saw an opportunity. He started waking up at dawn to give free tours to tourists, not for money, but so he could practice his English. Imagine a skinny kid on a bicycle, following foreigners around, teaching himself a language his school couldn't properly teach him. That's where his journey started, by daring to do something different. The English name, Jack, was given to him by one of those tourists. That's how the world came to know Ma Yun as Jack Ma. But here's where the story turns rough. Jack was not a good student. In fact, he failed his middle school entrance exam twice. When he tried for high school, he failed again. His academic record looked more like a list of failures than achievements. He later failed the Chinese college entrance exam not once, not twice, but 3 times before finally scraping through to Hangzhou Teachers Institute. That's resilience. Most people give up after the first or second rejection, but Jack kept pushing forward. He graduated with a degree in English, but the rejections didn't stop there. After college, Jack applied for dozens of jobs and was rejected from almost every single one. The most famous story is when KFC came to China. They were hiring 24 people in his city. 23 were accepted, and 1 was rejected, Jack Ma. He even applied to be a policeman and was told, "You're not good enough." Can you imagine how crushing that must have been? Most people would accept defeat and live an ordinary life. But Jack turned rejection into motivation. He used every no as fuel to create his own yes. Jack eventually became an English teacher, earning around $12 a month. That was his life for a while. Teaching gave him confidence, and he grew comfortable speaking to crowds. But deep down, he knew he wanted more. In the mid-1990s, he traveled to the United States as a translator, and this trip changed his life forever. For the first time, Jack saw the internet. It was love at first sight. He searched for beer and saw results from all over the world, but none from China. That moment hit him like lightning. He realized China was completely missing from the online world, and that gap was his opportunity. When Jack returned to China, he told his friends and colleagues about this new thing called the internet. Most of them laughed. Some said he didn't understand technology, others said it would never work in China. Remember, this was a man who couldn't code, who had no background in computers, who had faced nothing but rejection in his life. But that's the magic of Jack Ma. He didn't let what he didn't know stop him. He focused on what he did know: people, communication, and vision. In 1999, in his small apartment in Hangzhou, Jack gathered 17 of his friends and convinced them to invest in his crazy dream. That dream became Alibaba. The mission was simple but powerful: make it easy to do business anywhere. He wanted to connect Chinese manufacturers with global buyers using the internet. At first, it seemed insane. Nobody trusted the idea of sending money over the internet, and China's banking system was not designed for it. But Jack's belief was unshakable. He told his team, "If we don't succeed, someone else will." They worked day and night, building Alibaba with almost no money and no resources, just vision and determination. The early years were brutal. Jack and his team had to beg investors to support them, and most of them laughed him out of the room. But he didn't stop. He told his employees that profit was not the goal in the beginning, customer trust was. Alibaba slowly started to gain traction, connecting buyers and sellers in a way no one had done before. To solve the problem of trust, Jack launched Alipay, an escrow system that held money until the buyer confirmed the goods were received. At the time, people thought it was a crazy idea. Even the Chinese government questioned it. But today, Alipay is one of the most widely used payment systems in the world. That one idea built trust in online shopping for millions of people and turned Alibaba into a giant. By the early 2000s, Alibaba was competing with eBay in China. Everyone thought eBay would crush Jack Ma's little company. After all, eBay had more money, more experience, and global reach. But Jack understood something they didn't. Chinese sellers and buyers needed a platform that understood their culture, their language, and their habits. While eBay tried to force its global model onto China, Jack customized Alibaba for the local market. Slowly, eBay lost ground, and by 2006, it shut down operations in China. The underdog had beaten the giant. From there, Alibaba expanded into multiple sectors: e-commerce, cloud computing, digital payments, entertainment, and logistics. Jack Ma had built an empire. In 2014, Alibaba went public on the New York Stock Exchange in what was then the largest IPO in history, raising $25 billion. That moment turned Jack into one of the richest men in the world and cemented his place as a global business icon. The boy who once made $12 a month teaching English was now worth billions, leading a company that changed how the world shops. But Jack's story is not just about business success. It's about mindset. He always said he wasn't afraid of failure. In fact, he embraced it. He told young people to enjoy being rejected because every rejection was just one step closer to success. He believed in long-term vision, often saying it's not the smartest or the strongest who win, but those who never give up. His speeches inspired millions around the world because he spoke with honesty, humility, and humor. He wasn't a genius coder or a financial expert. He was a dreamer who refused to quit. Jack eventually stepped down as chairman of Alibaba in 2019, saying he wanted to return to education and philanthropy. He focused on helping young entrepreneurs and improving education in China. But even after retiring, his influence remains massive. Alibaba continues to dominate global e-commerce, and Jack's legacy as a pioneer lives on. He showed the world that you don't need to be born rich, you don't need to have perfect grades, and you don't need to be accepted by everyone to succeed. You need resilience, creativity, and a vision bigger than yourself. Think about it, if Jack Ma had given up after failing his exams 3 times, there would be no Alibaba. If he had stopped after being rejected by KFC, millions of businesses in China would never have had the chance to sell to the world. If he had listened to the critics who said the internet wouldn't work in China, he would still be making $12 a month as a teacher. But because he kept going, he built one of the greatest companies of our time and inspired generations to dream bigger. Jack Ma's journey is the ultimate financial freedom story. It's about taking control of your destiny when the world tells you no. It's about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. And it's about proving that rejection is not the end, it's just the beginning. His life teaches us that success doesn't come from never failing. It comes from never giving up. So the next time you face rejection, remember Jack Ma, the man who was told he wasn't good enough by almost everyone but ended up becoming a billionaire visionary. If he could do it, why not you? And that's Jack Ma's billionaire journey, from a poor boy in Hangzhou to one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world. It's proof that financial freedom isn't just a dream, it's possible if you're willing to fight for it.